What is up, Spookinators? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video, I'm gonna share with you the methods I use to defeat the final boss with pure melee attacks or melee build. Now, this isn't a build video. I'm gonna make a separate content for that because I don't want to waste your time and make this video necessarily longer than it really has to be. But the build shouldn't really matter that much, as this should work for any melee attacks or melee builds, as it is mainly a hit and run method. Now, in my case, I'm just running dual twin blades with pure dex with a bit of arcane for my right hand weapon requirement, just because it suits my playstyle. It's what I enjoy the most. Now, the summon is more important really for this one, guys, than the melee build I'm running. The Black Knife Tiche is really necessary for this one, but more on that later on. Soon as you loaded into the arena, rush towards Radagon and get in a few cheap shots on him. Like most FromSoft bosses, he doesn't attack for a few seconds after loading in. For the first half, try to stick close to him. I know it's counterintuitive, but it allows you to dodge easier and lets you take advantage of any openings more effectively. Now, his initial assault is always a quick attack with a hammer. This would either be followed by a delayed attack or two quick attacks. So always be prepared to double roll after your cheap shot. And pay attention to his hammer and legs, because he would either do a quick foot stomp or either two quick hammer attacks or a delayed hammer attack. Now in this case, he did a delayed overhand with his hammer. One of Radagon's favorite charge attack is this thing where he lifts his hammer over his left shoulder before flinging it forward, casting a horizontal lightning bolt and lighting the ground below him with lightning incantation, which explodes after a few seconds of delay, making it a two-hit combo. It can easily be countered by just sticking your body towards him and spinning around away from his hammer, and right before he releases the charge, you dodge roll towards him. Now this should place you right behind him, opening him up comfortably to a jumping attack and another power stance attack on the ground, because he remains immobile after he releases his lightning charge and before the lightning blast from the ground explodes. Now, there is another slight variation of this attack which may be confusing sometimes, but this time he carries his hammer overhead and slams it to the ground before scraping it and flinging lightning damage towards you. Now, this can be easily avoided using the first method I told you earlier. Now, here's another favorite charge attack of his, where he levitates before slamming his hammer on the ground, creating a devastating AoE damage around him. But quite frankly, this is one of my favorites because it's very easy to dodge. You just have to look up, and right before he slams on the ground, you roll towards him, again opening him up for two-hit combos. Now, here's another levitating attack, but this time he flings a bolt of lightning towards you, like the gods of Olympus himself. Now, this is a delayed attack, so it's kind of tricky to dodge, but all you have to do is watch his arm. When it's at its apex, it's about to throw that bolt at you, it's time to dodge, and this time do a double dodge. The first dodge is to avoid the initial impact of the lightning bolt, and the second one is to avoid the delayed blast from said lightning bolt. Alright, now this skill is pretty painful. Took me some time to figure it out. He does this levitating thing and slams on the ground 3 times. Now, if you're near him, if you're near enough, it's gonna be 2 hits each slam. One from the impact from his hammer as he hits the ground, and the other one is the outward lightning blast, which happens each time after he slams the ground. For me, the safest thing for me to do this is to just keep a safe distance away from the initial impact, near enough so I can make a counter attack, as you can see later on, and I can see the lightning incantation head towards me, and it's easier for me to dodge that way. But now this right here is his most powerful move, which is actually a grab attack. Now for this one, aside from avoiding getting grabbed, you also need to avoid the blast which he produces as soon as his hands hit the ground. Now the way to do this is, as soon as I see him raise his arm, I start to run and count from 1 to 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4. This allows me to avoid his grab and blast and enables me to make a counter attack. However, most of the time, I find myself trading blows whenever I try to counter this attack because surprisingly enough, he recovers quickly after his ground attack. Okay, this one is a variation of the Zeus Lightning Strike, but this time aside from the lightning exploding, it actually creates a pulse, and each of these pulse stuns and damages you when it hits. So the way to do this really is to dodge the initial lightning strike and dodge away from the area of the lightning pulse, which is not really very large. 2 rolls should do it. I think those are the most important skills you need to be aware of Radagon. Now this time, let's see how the fight unfolds, including the mistakes I made towards the end. Because oh boy, did I make many mistakes and miss timings. So that way you'll know what to avoid and what not to do. So you've seen me make several mistakes early in the fight, but in this portion, I've made so many mistakes right as I was about to finish the fight because I was too eager to finish him off and too eager to heal up. Alright, as you may have noticed from the Radagon portion, I did not summon the Black Knife Tiche. I saved him for the Elden Beast fight itself. I did the same technique several times for the Mimic Tier with the Mimic Tier, but the Mimic Tier is just too slow for my build, and it really dies without doing much damage to the Elden Beast. Now the Black Knife Tiche is very fast and very dodgy. He's able to keep up with the running of the Elden Beast, and more importantly, the Black Knife Tiche does percentage damage to its enemy's health pool. So that works really well against the large health pool of the Elden Beast, as you can see in the beginning of this fight. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's look at the actual fight. Okay, so just like Radagon, the moment you are loaded in, just head towards the Elden Beast's belly and try to wail on him as much as possible. Now, not gonna lie, I made the Black Knight Tiche most of the work for this one, as it's really effective against the Elden Beast guys. So this is what I was talking about, the Black Knight Tiche's damage. That ranged attack of his just ate around almost 1/4 of the Elden Beast's HP right at the get-go. Now, one important factor to consider about the Elden Beast, guys, is that it's just like a dragon. Treat it like a dragon. As you can see from this footage, it aggroed on the Black Knight Tiche. So I took the opportunity, went behind its back, and I was safe from its fire while I was doing damage to it from behind. Now, when he levitates like that, he's about to do a skill where he entraps you within a circle. So what you do is run to the direction where he is facing and just jump over the circles. Now, at the end of that, he should spawn right in front of you, giving you an opportunity to get near him and sneak in some damage. Only this time, this wasn't the case because I was too impatient and got punished by him with 2 strikes. Now, this skill is really annoying. It's got very good tracking and it lasts for a very long time. I found no way around this except just to run around and roll around, trying to avoid as much of these orbs as possible. Now, at this point, I was running out of flasks, and quite frankly, I made a lot of mistakes because I was too impatient. I should have just trusted my summon to get the aggro, because he's really doing a great job, as you can see from his health pool, dodging the attacks and making counters of his own. So at this point, I trusted my summon and let it do most of the aggroing and most of the work. Now, this skill is really painful. It could possibly one-shot you with a critical hit. Now, fortunately, it's easy to dodge. Just lock onto him and observe him very closely, and right as he's about to lunge down towards you, just time your dodge roll. Now, from time to time, he's gonna do a melee sword attack. And it's really easy to dodge. It's really slow. Just time it accordingly. It's not really that hard to time. Now, that is it for the video, guys. If you found it helpful, consider liking, sharing, subscribing. We're on our way to 1K sub, and every sub counts, guys. Will be greatly appreciated. Toss us a like, leave a comment down below to help us with the algorithm. This has been Spooky Ramen. Have a great day all, and peace out.